Pat Boone's storied career includes dozens of hits and millions of records sold. At one concert, his opening act was a kid from Tennessee named Elvis Presley. Later, he was offered the chance to play the on-screen love interest to Marilyn Monroe. He turned it down. For a person who has achieved megastardom, Pat's newest movie may seem a little odd. That's because it's about a man hoping to get a do-over in life.
Pat Boone is a rare legend in his own time, a star of movies, TV, and Broadway, a recording artist who sold some 45 million records. Now in his 80s, Pat has yet another new movie coming out, The Mulligan.
How do you see yourself?
Not just in golf, but your whole existence, your life.
Pat plays the old pro who knows even more about life than the game, and it makes all the difference.
It's about believing.
This never was about golf, was it?
I think my work here is done.
Our good friend Pat Boone joins us now via Skype. Pat, it's so nice to have you on the program today.
Well, great to be with you, Terry, and on the program, of course, but with you anytime, like we were in Israel long ago.
Many times in Israel, you're correct. Well, I want to ask you, how does it feel for you, a former teen superstar, to now come full circle, and now you're playing the seasoned, wise pro in this movie?
Well, the casting directors in Hollywood, the word's gone out. If you need somebody to play an 80-year-old who can still remember his lines, get Pat Boone. And so I've made several movies lately. Another one on Amazon Prime is Miracle in the Valley. And I not only star in that, but I helped fund it. And I've also in the God's Not Dead 2 recently, and the follow-up to God's Not Dead, the first one. And a couple of other films that I'm not supposed to talk about yet that I'm playing prominent roles in. So it's wild to me because I don't recognize myself in the mirror. I've changed so drastically and yet people still remember and they recognize me, and they still want a little more of the old guy. So I'm delighted to comply.
Well, the producers of The Mulligan, which is this film we're talking about today that you're in, said that when they thought about the various roles that they needed to find people to play, you were the first and only name that came up for the particular role you're doing. I'm wondering what drew you to this movie.
I'm not only flattered by that, I know it was the Lord, because this man has already achieved great things in his life. And now he's mentoring younger people who have great potential, but their focus in life is wrong. And this one hotshot billionaire from Silicon Valley, whose marriage is busting up, his kids can't stand him, and he's still trying to play golf, is recommended by Tom Lehman, who is one of the tour pros, one of the great pros out there now, and a great Christian, is in this film, and recommended that he go see the old pro who can help him get control of his golf and his temperament. And of course, I'm happy to do that, but I'm also interested in his personal life. And Terry, you know that me as an entertainer, I've always, from the very beginning, considered that God gave me this incredible career as a platform from which I could do what I thought I was going to do, which is be a teacher, preacher, and try to lead young kids to the Lord. That's what I thought I was doing when Shirley and I married at 19. And by the time we were 23 and I was graduating from Columbia University, we had 4 kids already. So we had our family when I first moved to California. And fortunately, I was already known as a Christian. I didn't have to come out and tell people I was. That was part of who I was known to be. And so from then on, I knew that whatever influence I might wield as an entertainer was to be for the Lord. And that's what I've tried to do. Now, I've taken a lot of brickbats and kidding and ridicule along the way. But now lately, in these latter years, I'm letting a lot of entertainers who tell me they used to make fun of me and jokes and so on, I've come to respect you because you really you really made it happen, haven't you, with your family, your life, your career, your business, and you're still going at 80. I'm 87 now. I'll be 88 in June. And I worked out in the gym the last couple of days for my new Relief Factor commercials so they can see what a healthy 86-year-old looks like.
Well, there's a part, and I want to say that there's a part in this movie that was challenging to you as you thought about it ahead of time, because you had to get super emotional. That's always been my thought when I see people who are able to do that, is how do they make that happen? What was going on, and how did that happen for you?
Boy, I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't know if I could play that part well, because, it really called for the man to break up over the loss of his own child. And although it moved me interiorly, I knew I was going to be saying the lines as cameras. But when the scene came, eventually, all I had to do was say the words that I knew and apply them to myself. And I'm telling you, something swept over me. And in the course of doing that scene, I was fighting to keep from crying. I wasn't trying to cry. I wasn't thinking about, I was trying not to just break down and sob because of what I was having to say. And it was just God. And, when we finished the scene the first time and it was very still and quiet, I never heard the director say, cut. He just said, very nice. Can we do it again? Can we do it again? But when I did it again, the same thing happened. As I was saying the words I was supposed to say and meaning them in my heart and identifying with them, it was the Holy Spirit just swept over me, and I was fighting desperately to keep from crying, though I was crying.
And that is sort of the wisdom contained in your new movie, The Mulligan, which I want to let our viewers know hits select theaters nationwide for 2 nights only. So don't miss it. I read the book. It's well worth your trip to the theater. April 18th and 19th. It's right after Easter. Make sure to go to cbn.com if you'd like to find showtimes, and you can also get tickets there. Pat, thank you for being with us. We just always love having you on. You always bring a wonderful word of wisdom to us. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Terry. And I hope people will go see it, because, they're not making many good Christian films. And this is a Christian film in secular theaters, 1,000 of them on those 2 days. So we can make a real difference if we'll just go see a good movie, bring our family, and encourage the movie business to open up and make more good films for families.
And get some buttered popcorn in the route. Thanks, Pat. And we'll be right back with more of the 700 Club after this.